As we chant taking refuge and bodhicitta, then the root text, page number 5. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Just take refuge to the Triple Gem. Next, generating bodhicitta. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the manifold awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativity individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. Please visualize all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly your root guru, and cultivate bodhicitta in front of the field of merit, particularly in front of your guru. Next, from the root text, the sixth ground, page number 49. One directly facing, he abode in the mind of meditative equipoise and turn to the attributes of the perfect Buddhahood, the Bodhisattva who sees the truth of the independent origination, attain the truth cessation by dwelling in the wisdom. Just as a single man with the eyes can easily lead a group of blind men to their desired destination, here too intelligent lead the sightless virtues and guide them to the concord state. One who has realized the utterly profound truth through the scripture and through the reasoning as well, was the noble Nagarjuna. So I will expound here his tradition as it appears in his treatise. Even ordinary person, when hearing about emptiness, share joy surges again and again within their heart. Tear born from such a joy fill their eyes, and their hearts stand up their follicles. Such as people have the seeds of perfect Buddhahood, they are the perfect vessels for this teaching. To them, you should teach the sublime ultimate truth. For them, ensuing quality will come to the birth. Adopting perfect morality, they will always abide by it. They will practice generosity, cultivation, compassion. They will practice forbearance and will dedicate thoroughly their virtues to freedom for all beings. They will reverse those who aspire to the perfect awakening, gaining master of the way profound and vast. Such a person will gradually attain the ground of perfect joy. So all those who thus aspire, pay listen to the path. Thank you so much for chanting. So usually, when we do any practice, first we need to realize the actual truth of the suffering and the samsara and have a strong, pure faith and belief into Triple Gem. That means you follow the Triple Gem, or not only just taking refuge to the Triple Gem, also you have a strong desire to be Buddha, to achieve, accomplish the ultimate Dharma, to be Sangha. So when we take refuge, first we take refuge to the Buddha, then Dharma and Sangha. So when we actually accomplish the triple gem, ourselves becoming first Sangha, doesn't matter male and female, anybody can be Sangha when you realize ultimate truth through the direct perception. When you perceive emptiness directly, then you become a Sangha, right? Sangha. Then the mind, the wisdom which realizes emptiness directly, then the mind, the path we name Dharma. Then the teacher, the person who teach the path, particularly who teach the ultimate truth independently, then we name the person is Buddha. So there's a two different sequence of taking refuge to the triple gem. There's a sequence of how we can be Sangha, how we accomplish Dharma, at the end, how we can be Buddha. Then second, we chant the verses for generating bodhicitta. If we only taking refuge to the triple gem, we can be free from the lower realms, not going to be free from samsara, not going to be Buddha. Therefore, second, in order to be Buddha, we need to practice bodhicitta. Then how we need to generate, how we need to cultivate bodhicitta in our daily life. It's very simple. You don't need to set up, offering, lots of offering. Simply, you need to check your motivation, make sure you don't have a self-centered attitudes. Also make sure your mind is not polluted by anger, attachment, desire. When you realize your mind is very pure, then instantly you visualize Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. If you cannot visualize all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, simply you visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, below the Buddha Shakyamuni, or in front of the Buddha Shakyamuni, you can visualize your own gurus. And in front of them, then you cultivate, means simply you just think, I really want to be Buddha. Therefore, today, I will cultivate bodhicitta in front of you, which is Buddha Shakyamuni, and your guru. If you don't have a particular, your root guru, then you can consider Buddha Shakyamuni is your guru, your root guru. Then last Saturday, we discussed, little bit about each of the chapter until chapter 5. The first chapter, particularly the salutation to the compassion, is the summarized words, summarizing all the content of the root text. The contents of the root text you can summarize into two, bodhicitta and emptiness. Therefore, at the beginning of the text, Chandrakirti, he homage who prays to compassion in order to complete the writing about the text. He chosen to prostrate to the compassion, not like a Buddha, Bodhisattva, Manjushri. Why? So not only him, all the Buddhas actually, realize the compassion is the most important factor before we cultivate bodhicitta. Therefore, I said last time and last Saturday, first we need to cultivate bodhicitta, the person who always living around you, particularly your parents, your relatives. And the compassion must be unconditioned compassion, unconditioned love. Then same compassion you have towards your family, particularly your dear, like brother, sister, mother, father, same compassion that you need to extend, the people who living next to your door. Because in our life, the most of the enemy, become with us. The person who living always with you, or your neighbors, or your, co-worker who work with them in office or rest wherever you work. Actually, we have a very little number of small number of enemies. Therefore, second step, you must extend the same compassion towards your neighbors. Then the people who live around you in your condo or your village. Then the same compassion you need to extend, rest of the, right now we are in Singapore, all Singaporeans without discrimination. Sometimes, we able to cultivate compassion towards the person who are close to you, the person who are same ethnic as you. Also, sometimes we cannot cultivate bodhicitta, the person who are different ethnic, who follow different tradition, different religion. So we should not discriminate, different people based on the race, culture, religion, based on the economic. We must have a same equal compassion towards all sentient beings. Then we have two benefits. The simple benefit we can have, if we have a compassion towards all human beings, particularly all sentient beings, then we never ever have a chance to arise the anger. So we able to control anger through practicing pure compassion, unconditioned compassion. The most important benefit we have, so we, our mind, also we can say, I can say we are very close to bodhicitta. Until today, we wish to accomplish bodhicitta, we cannot. We verbally practice compassion. We are not actually practice compassion. We are not actually, able to practice great compassion. Therefore, we think, also we feel bodhicitta is very difficult to accomplish, very difficult to practice, because we're not able to practice the great compassion. Then compassion, there's the three different ways how to generate compassion. First, we can just generate compassion, realizing the all sentient being has equal sufferings. All sentient beings equally want happiness, don't want suffering. From that point of view, we must think, I must generate compassion equally towards all sentient beings. They are same as me, they don't want suffering, which I don't want. I want only happiness, they also do. The second, so when we think about how we are in suffering, so how we have been, experiencing suffering, what are the, reason behind having all kinds of sufferings? Then the suffering, usually there's two types, the physical and mental suffering. The minimum physical suffering we have due to lacking of proper kind of understanding what kind of food and drink we should consume, what kind of food and drink we must avoid. So lacking of having proper understanding of the diets. Yes, certain physical suffering we have due to our, previous life karmas. Then all the mental suffering we have is caused by anger, caused by attachment, caused by ego, caused by ignorance, caused by pride. For us, if we really want, we can control the emotional or mental sufferings. We cannot really control the physical suffering like aging. Whether you want or you don't want, the aging always there. Every day we are getting older. And then, at the end, the death. We cannot avoid death. Death will come. So long time through practicing Dharma, yes, so we can stop aging and death because we are able to stop taking a rebirth through karma and the three poison minds. But second, we need to know, so all sentient beings having all kinds of suffering because they really don't understand the reality of the minds. So second, yes, due to the anger, we have a suffering. Due to the attachment, we have a suffering. Therefore, we must generate compassion equally across all sentient beings because all sentient beings has the same kind of emotional or mental suffering. They remember the six analogies, the water bucket, the water wheel. So after we, have compassion, after we really generate compassion, means you not just think, you not just enough to understand, how to generate compassion. Actually, we need compassion within our minds. After we accomplish the bodhicitta, the second important factor is we need to realize emptiness, right? First, compassion as a sits, due to great compassion, due to having the pure great compassion, so we can easily able to accomplish bodhicitta. After you have the bodhicitta, the body mind, second, then we need to realize emptiness. Very simple, emptiness. Realizing emptiness is very important in order to free from suffering and the cause of suffering. Also, realizing emptiness is very important even in order to achieve liberation for yourself. Without realizing emptiness, we're not going to achieve, a cessation, which is cease the negative thoughts, which is cease the karma. Therefore, the second factor is second important factor is realizing emptiness. Right? That means the methods, which is great compassion and bodhicitta. The second is the wisdom paths. This means you already have a very healthy and strong wings. When you have a two healthy wings, you can fly, over the samsara. You can cross the samsara. Then you can reach to the Buddhahood. You can reach to the pure land. So we need the two wings, which is great compassion and bodhicitta and wisdom. So when you have bodhicitta, then we already reached to the first bhumi, because the joy bhumi, because you become bodhi, you already become bodhisattva, first bhumi. Sense and second, third, fourth, all the way 10 bhumi is based on how you have a progress in emptiness. Then first bhumi is a very particular practice to achieve, become master in generosity. Second bhumi is a very particular practice how to master in practicing pure ethical discipline. The third bhumi is bhumi about practicing particular forbearance. Then the fourth bhumi is the bhumi for particular practicing the like joy effort. Then the fifth bhumi is a very particular bhumi to be mastered in meditative equipoise. That means the five bhumi is very particular for the five perfections. When the bodhisattva become very master, accomplish the very profound meditative equipoise, then he or she have to become very master in dependent origination. Particularly have to be master in the Four Noble, the subtle Noble Truth, particularly to the path. So today our class will start from the chapter 6, which is the sixth ground, the manifest, right? So I'm not going to read all the verses, even though I cannot read many of them, but I will, we will go through the, the point by point, very easy to understand. Okay, first, just everybody must remember the bodhisattva who are actually, reached to the fifth bhumi, he or she are very master in meditative equipoise. Also, they're also master in practice in generosity, pure ethical discipline, forbearance, joy effort, meditative. Also, not that become master about the wisdom. Realize emptiness, but there's a particular talking about very particular wisdom. Therefore, for you, page number, I think 157. Introducing the sixth ground. So you just remember the point, no need to remember all the words. It has four parts. The etymology of name of the ground and its superiority in wisdom. Why we name the manifest, I mean, epistemology. Then what is the, the unique superiority in wisdom? Praise of the perfection of wisdom, explaining reality in terms of the seeing, profound, dependent origination. Then point number 4, conclusion, starting the quality of the ground. That means within the sixth ground, almost, complete the root text. Then why we name, why Chandrakirti name the sixth ground as a manifest, direct facing or manifest. The etymology of name of the ground and its superiority in the wisdom. On directly facing, he abode in the mind of meditative equipoise and turn to the attributes of the perfect Buddhahood. This bodhisattva who sees the truth of dependent origination attains the truth cessation by dwelling in the wisdom. So the bodhisattva who already reached to the sixth ground means he become very master in the path, how to really practice the path. Because he realized the subtle Four Noble Truth, particularly subtle the truth of the path. Therefore, the bodhisattva who sees the truth of dependent origination attain the truth cessation by dwelling in wisdom. Here, just simply you think this way. Yes, the bodhisattva who are already reached the five bhumi, based on the meditative equipoise, then he become very particular master or particular about the subtle Four Noble Truths. Particularly, the subtle truth of the path. The path, very particular, realizing the dependent origination. Right? Clear? That means now here we have to go through a little bit about the 12 links in the dependence. In our daily life, when you reflect on the 12 links, dependent origination, the 12 links mean how we are cycle in samsara, how we are cycle. First, in this lifetime, in the previous life, there's ignorance. Ignorance arises, like attachment, anger, or rest of the negative thoughts. Clear? Ignorance cause to arise rest of the negative thoughts. Or due to the ignorance also cause to arise positive thoughts. No matter the positive thoughts or negative thoughts, both engage into action. Right? Due to the engage into action, then we accumulate positive and negative actions. Due to causing the negative action, we circle in the lower realms, animal, hungry, helping. Causing by the positive action, so we circle in the, like a higher realms. Then due to the ignorance, then the between all the negative thoughts and karma, actually we have been circling in the lower realm, in the higher realms, just going around, the countless eons. Then due to the karma, then we take a rebirth. Then there's a consciousness. Then name and fame. Then is six sources. Then at the end, then aging and death. Right? After death, if death means if it is the end of the life, it's okay. We no need to worry. Right? Death means that there's nothing. Then it's fine. We no need to worry. This is a very serious, important question we must arise every day. After I died, after my death, is there a next life or not? Right? We believe, you must have a solid conviction there's a next life. Next life. After there's a next life, then that means you're going to take a rebirth. Doesn't matter you are born into lower realms or higher realms, you're born in the wealthy family or poor family. Equally, we have the aging, sickness, aging, and the death. If you reflect on the 12 and the dependent, you feel so boring in samsara. Because we always need to experience the suffering, like taking a rebirth, then the sickness, aging, death. After death, again take a rebirth. No good to stop. Therefore, how we should, stop? Is it able to stop or not? It is possible to stop, the cycle is able to, break or not? Yes. So in order to stop death and aging, we need to stop rebirth, taking rebirth. In order to stop taking rebirth, we need to stop what? We need to stop the karma, accumulating karma. In order to stop accumulating karma, doesn't matter, no matter positive or negative karma, we need to stop the three, the negative thoughts. We need to stop arousing anger. We need to stop arousing attachment, ego, all the negative thoughts. In order to stop all of them, include sickness, aging, death, all the negative thoughts, we need to stop arousing ignorance. Ignorance, right? So therefore, we need to, get rid of the ignorance. Ignorance can be stopped, can be, get rid of. It becomes very good, very professional to realize emptiness. Emptiness, right? There's me symbol, it will come later. Therefore, the Bodhisattva who reached to the sixth bhumi, he or she really understood how really can stop the ignorance. Then he really facing towards, the Buddha. Then next is increase of the perfection of wisdom. To demonstrate that the collection other than the perfection of wisdom, such as the generosity, depend upon the perfection of wisdom to traverse to the resulting ground, the flowing started. That means within the sixth perfection, we can put the five perfection in one side. And the wisdom perfection, we put other side. So without the wisdom perfection, the rest of the five perfections are look like the blind group of people, blind group of people. So doesn't matter how much they're trying to reach to their destination, their desired destination, then the five perfection cannot. Means without perfection wisdom, no matter how many years, how many times you have been practicing generosity, pure ethical discipline, forbearance, joy effort, meditative equipoise, you're never going to reach to the Buddhahood, right? Buddhahood or fully liberated state. You cannot. You cannot. Because the practitioner is lacking the wisdom, right? So when you think that way, then you need to understand, yes, realizing emptiness is most important. Otherwise, doesn't matter how long I can practice, how many times, millions of years for the five perfection, still I in the samsara. But you can born into better samsara someday, worse samsara, still you are in samsara. Like we are living in Singapore. With the Singapore, some part of Singapore is very clean and very peaceful. Some of not. Still, you are in Singapore. Right? Therefore, it's demonstrate that the collection of the other than the perfection wisdom, such as the generosity, depend upon the perfect wisdom to traverse to the resultant ground. That means the cause, those are the cause. But it cannot be cause to achieve the resultant ground, means the Buddhahood. Now the quotation from the root text. Just as a single man with the eyes can easily lead a group of blind men to their desired destination, here too, intelligence leads the subtlest virtues and guide them to the concord state. Right? So please memorize these verses and think about. Just as a single man, single person with the eyes can easily lead the group of blind men to their destination. Here too, intelligence leads the subtlest virtues, which is the five perfection, and guide them to the concord state. So after we read this sentence, what we need to realize ourselves, until now, all my daily practice, all practices look like a blind person, the group of blind people. The blind people also, when they go around, sometimes they can reach to the good place, sometimes they reach to the, bad place. Still they're reaching here and there, but they never reach to the desired destination. That means our daily recitation, chanting can bring happiness, samsaric happiness, samsaric joy, but all our daily practice cannot bring the ultimate happiness. Clear? Happiness. Therefore, we need to realize. Therefore, peace of the dependent, so perfection of wisdom is very important. The next quotation here, the condensed perfection of wisdom to states. Millions and billions of blind people, brief of sight, ignorant of the road, how can they reach the town without wisdom? This by perfection. Lagging sight cannot reach the awakening. So here I think that also you can raise a question, without the the wisdom perfection, why rest of the five perfection cannot really achieve enlightenment or Buddhahood? Why? For example, when you practice compassion, right, our daily experience, when you practice compassion, like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 1 hour, or every day, then you can feel you become very calm. You feel you don't have a look like anger at all. Then when you practice pure ethical discipline, yes, you can feel you are not engaged into any negative actions. So when you practice pure, like a forbearance, look like you don't have anger, joy, effort, then you feel you never feel laziness. But when you are, careless, your mind become when your mind is very careless state, then instantly anger arises, attachment arises, because the root is always there, which is ignorance, right? The root is always there. Therefore, liberation means liberate from what? Liberation means liberate from the samsara and the cause of samsara, which is ignorance and karma. Again, liberation means liberate from the ignorance. Buddhahood means, there's in Tibetan we say Sangye. Sangye. In Sanskrit, it's a Buddha, meaning, fully developed. But when the Tibetan translator, when they translate, they add another one word. Sang means, fully awake. Fully awake. Awakening. Awake from what? Ignorance, sleeping of ignorance. Until now, we all look like, have a long sleeping. But we have a different kinds of dream. Someday you are playing, someday you are having good food, someday you are fighting with your friend, someday you lost something. It looks like we have a long dreaming for billions of years. Ignorance. Therefore, awakening means when you awake from the sleeping state, then you realize whatever I have experienced is just a dream. There's a dream, not really, right? Therefore, awakening means sang. Not just, awakening, not fully awake. You accomplish. You have all the good qualities. Then become Buddha. Therefore, liberation means liberate from the ignorance. Buddha means, free from or awake from the ignorance. Therefore, we need to eliminate ignorance. Therefore, the wisdom which realizes emptiness is very important. Then next, explaining the suggestness in terms of the seeing profound dependent origination. This is a 5 parts. promising to explain the profound truth. Who promising? Nagarjuna. Sorry, Chandrakirti. Chandrakirti actually was saying, I will write, I will, expound, profound the emptiness. Promise to explain the profound truth. Identifying those who are vessels for explaining the profound truth. Then number 3, the way higher quality ensue if such as needs is explained, urging those who are stable vessel to listen. Number 5, the way the suddenness of dependent origination is expounded. There's a 5 parts, right? First, Nagarjuna was saying, I will, compose in a simple teaching for those people who don't understand the big like a sutra. So he was saying, I will summarize the meaning of emptiness in order to understand emptiness easily. Promise, explain the profound truth. Then, yes, this means emptiness. Second, he was telling who is the right person to explain emptiness. Right? If, if the master explain emptiness to the wrong person, instead of, having all good quality, the person can have a lot of problem. Second is, identifying those who are vessels for explaining the profound truth. Then number 3, the way higher quality ensue if such a is explained. If the master explain emptiness to the right person, the person can, achieve all the good qualities. If the teacher explain emptiness to the wrong person, instead of having all the good quality, the person can have a lot of bad qualities. For example, many people think, I heard it's not true, in China, many Chinese families, they don't want to keep the Heart Sutra in the house. They don't want to keep Heart Sutra in the house. Because they say empty, everything become empty, no money, emptiness. That means those people have a misunderstanding of emptiness. If the people believe there's nothing, no karma, no next life, no Buddha, then the person can do all the, whatever they want. Very harmful for themselves, very harmful for others. Therefore, Buddha Shakyamuni, when he taught, the Prajna Paramita teaching, he taught the Prajna Paramita teaching to the selective disciple. Also, he taught, very hiddenly, not publicly. He knew, the meaning is easy to have a misunderstanding. Then third, particularly when he taught the Tantrayana, particularly higher Tantrayana, he particularly select very few people. Therefore, it is so important to recognize the right person who can teach, who can understand emptiness. Therefore, urging those who are, stable vessel to lessen the emptiness. Now, promising here, also very simple, the root text. Page number 161. One who has realized the utterly profound truth through scriptures and through reasoning as well was the noble Nagarjuna. So I will expound here his tradition as it appeared in his treatise. That means what Chandrakirti was saying simply at that time, maybe I think 8th or 9th century around, I'm not sure. He was saying that time, if you really want to know the meaning of emptiness, according to the Parjana Paramita teaching, he was saying simply, you study Nagarjuna treatise. He was saying, you study Nagarjuna's treatise. Because Nagarjuna, composed the 6 treatises based on the Prajana Paramita teaching scripture taught by Buddha, and he ate, the right reasoning in logics. He was saying that Nagarjuna treatise was a very, pure, authentic teaching for realizing emptiness. Therefore, he was saying, today, I will summarize. I put into simple way for to understand emptiness based on the Nagarjuna treatise. Right? Therefore, the text is so important because he knew, so many people not going to understand the 6 treatises of Nagarjuna is too vast, too profound. The words are very complicated. Therefore, simply he put the meaning of emptiness in this root text. Therefore, when you have free time, instead of reciting hundreds of thousands of Manipeme, Amitabha, whatever, please read monthly the sutra for the root text for once a month. And also you read, you can think about it. There was a master in Tibet, one of the, I think, famous lineage holder. He hold all kinds of teachings. He became one of the important teacher in Tibet. So every years he has a retreat. He did retreat. Not retreat, recitation, chanting. He has a retreat to read, go through all the scriptures, particularly scripture of, Lama Tsongkhapa. He thought retreat is important, but most important, read all the scripture properly, reflect, make sure, he fully understood, make sure he's teaching the, stainless teaching to disciple. Therefore, instead of, you are, doing certain recitation, read the root text. So now, promising to explain the profound truth, one may ask, how is it started above when the Bodhisattva on the 6th ground sees dependent origination, he sees the suchness of dependent origination in terms of merely of the emerging from that. To respond to this, commentary says, the nature of this is something that do not fall within the pure view of those like us, whose eyes of intelligence are entirely covered by the dense cataract of ignorance. That means our mind is totally covered by dense, the cataract of ignorance. It does fall, however, within the pure view of those abiding on the evidence grounds, such as 6th ground. Therefore, this is not something to be asked for someone like us. Therefore, Nagarjuna Chandrakirti was saying, you should not ask this question to me. I still have a dense, cataract. I haven't really realized emptiness. One should pose this question to the Buddha and Bodhisattvas who are free of the cataract of the ignorance, whose eyes of the intelligence, the eye intelligence they put together, eyes of intelligence are anointed with the self. This is the excellent vision of the emptiness, which destroyed the cataract of ignorance. Right? That means until today, our mind, we thought, I really know so many things. Generally speaking, we really don't know much. even though our body, this physical body is with us since we were born, right? Also, we really don't understand the nature of body. Also, I know myself. Everybody say, I know myself, right? But every moment we are getting older. Today we are 1 day older than yesterday. This year we are 1 year older than last year. Do we realize every day I'm getting older? No, right? Also, look at the, outside. For example, you came last week in TBC and came today. For you, do you believe the last time when you saw the TBC and today TBC is totally different? We cannot see, we cannot feel, we don't understand. Actually, it's different. Therefore, generally speaking, we don't understand much, but we think we know so many things. Particularly reality, all the conditioned phenomena, right, include our life, our property, our belongings, our family, friends, the weather, everything on the planet, include the planets, is changing momentarily. This morning, the weather was very nice. Around 9 or 10 o'clock, the weather was very hot. Now, just before 3 p.m., it has have a kind of short-term heavy raining. Now it's quite cooling weather. But everything is changing momentarily. Do we realize our life is changing momentarily? Yes, I know our life is changing, because when you look at you compare your picture, you know you are getting older, but we don't understand. We not really understand. Everything is changing momentarily. For example, you say, oh, when you reach to TBC, the person who reached to TBC, the person who left from your house is different, right? That's the person who, just, exits the house, the person cannot reach to TBC. Cannot. Because it's changing. First moment reach to, not the second moment. The second moment person not in the third moment person on the not the fourth moment. It's changing that we don't realize. Particularly the reality of the phenomena. Yes, conventionally, we can say this is big, this is small, this is good, this is bad, this is male, this is, yes, conventionally, there's so many different types of phenomena around us. Because due to different causing condition. Morning, the weather was very hot because of there's a condition. Before 3 p.m., we have a kind of short-term heavy raining around here because there's a condition. When we think, looking from the conventional point of view, yes, things are totally, different each other. The size, the color, the taste is different. When we think, look at from the ultimate side, you cannot see the big and small as a different nature. No. Yes, the phenomena is, we can say this is big, this is small. From the point of view of the reality, you cannot see the reality of big and the reality small has a different aspect. It's all is same things, same thing. Therefore, we think we understand, but we have a lot of ignorance, very dense cataract in our eyes. The next is, I think, quite important, I thought. First, second, the third paragraph. The application of an eye ointment make one's vision clear, but does not remove the eyes, right? When somebody do for us the eye treatment, like, like ointment, right? Ointment make one vision clear, not removing the eyes. When we practice, when we study the sutra or tantra, whatever, when we practice about emptiness, when we study about emptiness, the studying of emptiness is making more clear about our mind, is not removing the mind, right? Not the removing mind itself. That means when we do the contentment for cataract, the person is just removing the cataract side, not the eyes. That means when you say emptiness doesn't mean that mind is not there. Emptiness is giving the more correct understanding to realize the actual truth of the mind. Likewise, applying the ornament, that is the vision of the emptiness, right? Vision of emptiness, make one's eyes of intelligence clear, but it does not remove one's eyes of noise the wisdom. If one understands this point, one will not be turned by the pitiful, disparaging view that there exists no ignorance in the meditative equipoise of the Arya. So this is very important. For example, through meditation or emptiness, how actually we able to control the ignorance? How? It's quite, the example is I give you very simple. When you look at on the earth, look at on the earth, we have so many different concepts, right? Oh, there's a flower, or there's a restaurant, there's a car, there's a road. We have so many different perception, because we have this, there are so many different kinds of appearance. Different in appearance, then different concept. Different concept cause different, arousing different negative thoughts, right? Then I ask everybody, just look at in the sky. Look at the sky. There's no, it's totally, like a pure sky, no cloud. When we look at the sky, what we can see, just empty. We don't have a concept, oh, the sky is big, the sky is small, or this part of sky is so beautiful, that kind of, part of sky is very ugly. We don't have. Simply, when you look at sky for a while, then all the conception stop for a while, because you cannot see different object. Likewise, when you do meditation on emptiness, the mind which is absorbed on emptiness, the mind can perceive only emptiness, none of the other phenomena, like looking in the sky, right? When you look at, if you look for almost whole life, if you just look at the sky, then I don't think you have anger, attachment, nothing, right? Cannot. Whom we going to anger to the sky? Yes, you are very angry with the sky, then can you have an attachment to the sky? No. Right? Therefore, the Arhat, the practitioner who realizes emptiness, since meditative emptiness, the person can always see the truth like sky. Therefore, gradually, they control all the negative thoughts, particularly ignorance. There's no chance to arouse ignorance. Therefore, at the end, ignorance is going to cease. Okay, this is a promise to explain the profound truth. He was, Chandrakirti, he was saying, I will compose the root text based on the Nagarjuna treatise. Nagarjuna treatise was very authentic text because he composed based on the Buddha's teaching plus all the logic reasoning. I will expound, I will teach the emptiness based on Nagarjuna treatise. I cannot teach emptiness independently. Then next one, page number 162. Yes, now until now we just realize, oh, emptiness is so important to realize, right? So important to realize. Then can everybody can understand emptiness? Does everybody can understand emptiness? Does everybody stable to teach emptiness? No. No. Therefore, Buddha always say, analyze the disciple, need to analyze. Therefore, according to the Tantrayana tradition, someone came to see you, asking, seeking certain types of initiation or certain types of Tantrayana practice. The master had to test and check, make sure the person is stable. Not testing, only testing for a long time. Sometimes the master need to test for 12 years. 12 years, like 10 or 12 years. For example, we don't need to go like 1,000 years. For example, Milarepa's teacher, we can say is Lama Marpa. Lama Marpa has 112 teachers. Most important were Naropa. So Naropa, right? Naropa has a many teachers. Most important were Telopa. So Naropa was due to the karmic connection. Also, some of his teachers asked Naropa and search Telopa. So Naropa was searching Telopa everywhere, all parts of India. Actually, he met Naropa a few times. He didn't realize. Also, Telopa knew Naropa is searching him. Naropa, really wanted receiving teaching from him, particularly the Guha Samaja. But he was testing, make sure he is right intention, make sure he's capable, make sure make sure he's a very diligent person. Right? So he did a lot of testing. Then finally he thought, yes, this is the right person. Then he started to teaching the Tantrayana. Therefore, testing is so important. Therefore, identify those who are vessels for the explaining the profound truth. As for the definitive status, right? There's two types of teaching. Definitive and what is next one? Definitive and so now what are the opposite of the definitive status?
Indefinitive.
Sure.
I'm not sure, Geshe-la. Because in the Buddhist psychology,
you are correct. Different people translate to different ways.
Yeah, a student suggests that interpretive, and definitive.
Yeah, definitive and interpretative. Yeah.
Yeah, some says provisional as well.
We can put in a simple way. There's only two truths, right? What are they? Ultimate and conventional truth. Ultimate truth and conventional truth. Also, in the past, I said many times, we should not think the true truth is totally two separate phenomena. The meaning is different. How to realize is different. Actually, the true truth is you look like, person and man, person and woman. Yes, when we say person, we are looking from the one point of view. It's a known person, then the person. One person can be man as also person. Right? One person also woman, also person. Doesn't mean just in the reality, they are just only one. Right? Then if I ask you how many emptiness there, how many emptiness? Somebody will say 4, somebody will say 18. We must say there's an equal emptiness equal to the phenomena. There's 10 phenomena, there's 10 emptiness. There's a 2 phenomena, 2 emptiness. For example, this is a book. This book is a conventional phenomena. The nature of the book is the ultimate phenomena. Therefore, truth is just one coin, 2 sides. Actually, there's one coin, but 2 sides has a two different symbolic. Right? And actually, it's the truth. Truth. It's like then definitive status meant the teaching, which is content. The subject is emptiness. The text, the Buddha teaching, content, carries the meaning of emptiness is the definitive text. Then the teaching mostly contain the conventional truth. Then this, indefinitive text. That means only 2 truths, 2 types of teaching. One teaching, mainly focus on emptiness. One teaching mainly focus on conventional truth. That means 2 truths, right? For the definitive text, they should also be taught to not just anyone, but to those who, because of the past habitation, have planted the seeds for the realizing emptiness. The person must have a kind of habitation, person can have a kind of imprints, the mental imprints. In the previous life, the person could hear emptiness, then the person can have a kind of imprints. Otherwise, even if they listen to the text, the person emptiness will suffer giving injures concourse because they are flushed with the destroyed understanding the regarding emptiness, such as grief injures, consequences will transmit like this. That means we must teach the emptiness to the right person who has the kind of the mental imprint to understand emptiness, have the ability to emptiness. We should not teach the person emptiness for everybody. The example is here, the quotation. Emptiness viewed mistakenly doms those of the weak intelligence. Doms. Like a snake wrongly held or a split wrongly incented. Right? Therefore, if you know how to catch the snake, you can easily catch the snake, you can throw away. Right? If you really don't know how to catch the snake, what happened then? The snake bites you, the snake kill you with the poison. Therefore, it is so important to have a right understanding of emptiness. If you wrongly understood the emptiness, mean you are catching snake by in the you are really touching the snake head, not the neck. That emptiness. Therefore, then they will thus apprehend the mistakenly and the wrong view, disparaging all the phenomena of cause of effect will be first engaged, and the whole on the well come to the increase further and further. That means nothingness means slowly there's nothing, no karma, no life, no good, no bad. I just want to enjoy my life, right? The next one, even ordinary person, when they're hearing about emptiness, church or surgery again, within the here. Okay, now page number 164. Even ordinary person on the beginner stage, when hearing an ordinant discourse about emptiness, share joy surges again and again within their heart because of the hearing such as discourse. Tear-born of the such as joy fill their eyes, and their hair stand up, their follicle, such as people have what is called the seeds of the realizing emptiness. Therefore, this the root has say here, they are the perfect vessel for the teaching. To them, you should teach the sublime ultimate truth. Realizing emptiness, the seeds of the non-conceptual gnosis of the perfect Buddhahood. It is people such as this who are perfect vessel for the teaching by a well-versed master. So to them, you should teach sublime ultimate truth, the truth whose characteristic will be explained below. Right? So how we know the person, how the master will know the person, the right person, mean when the teacher absorbs the audience, a disciple, he or she will realize, oh, those people are the right person to teach emptiness. Because when the teacher explains emptiness, the teacher can realize the expression. Right? So why people feel so joy, so moved when they're hearing and teaching about emptiness? Why? It look like, for example, someone has a very chronic sickness for many, many years. The person is very, desperate. Then one day he hear, oh, there's a medicine. It can heal the chronic sickness. How the person feel? Feel very happy, right? Exactly. We have a chronic, sickness of attachment, anger, hatred, aging, sickness, death, all the problems. One day, there's a master, he will say, oh, if you practice emptiness, realize emptiness, you can be free from the suffering. Definitely we feel moved, we feel joy, right? Joy. Then the person is the right person. Then why the higher quality ensued if such a need is expounded? Then after the person really understand the point, emptiness is so important to understand. It is so important to practice emptiness. Then automatically the person practice pure ethical discipline. The person automatically practice generosity. The person practice the forbearance. Remember the three excellent of the physical feature, excellent of the resources, excellent of the component. Right? That means if you really truly believe emptiness is so important, through practice emptiness, I can be Buddha, then how long will it take to achieve Buddhahood? Maybe 10 lifetime, 100 lifetime, millions of lifetime. And what you need to do, you need to prepare. You need to prepare. I don't want to born into lower realm next life. I want to practice the pure 10 virtues action. Right? Then you will born into higher realms. Plus, you need to practice the pure ethical discipline. Then 100% sure, we were born into higher realms. Yes, still you can see there's hundreds of millions of billions of people on the planets. There's so many people totally distressed, not enough food and drink and clothes. Forget about the Dharma. If we're born this kind of people, we cannot practice Dharma, right? Therefore, second, I'm going to practice generosity. The next life, I can have all the excellent, resources. Yes, I do to the practice of 10 virtues action, due to practicing the ethical discipline, I can be born as a good human. Yes, through practicing generosity, I can have all the excellent kind of condition, like excellent resources, food, cloth, medicine. What happens if you born with a family who are total against your practice? Right? This means we do to practice forbearance. When you practice this life forbearance, the next life you can born in the family who are to have a lot of completely harmonious, support each other. And you can see also, you have been seeing in our lifetime, your husband very serious about Buddhism. Wife doesn't like the husband be a Buddhist. The wife is Buddhist, serious Buddhist. The husband doesn't like how to be Buddhist. So she is saying you should not go to temple. He was saying you should not go to temple. Then this kind of condition become obstacle to continuous practice Dharma. Therefore, if we teach the emptiness to the right person, the rest of the quality will ensure. Practice of ethical discipline, forbearance, generosity. That means excellent resources, excellent life, then excellent component. Then page number 167, urging those who are stable vessel to the listen, gaining mystery of way, perform and was. Such a person will gradually attain the ground of perfect joy. So all those who thus aspire, pay attention to this path. But then, due to your karmic action, due to your merit, if you think, yes, I can be very stable, I can be suited to lesson emptiness, then now Sadhguru say, you must study emptiness, you must listen to the teaching about emptiness. Then gradually, you will attain the ground of perfect joy, the first bhumi. Then I think many of you are very clear about, when we reach to the first bhumi, the joy bhumi. Here you need to remember the 5 paths, the Mahayana 5 paths. What are the 5 paths? What are the Mahayana 5 paths? Mahayana accumulation paths, Mahayana preparation paths, Mahayana seeing paths, Mahayana meditation paths, Mahayana no more learning paths. Also, you need to say, Mahayana accumulation paths, Hinayan accumulation paths, Hinayan preparation paths, seeing path, meditation path, no more learning paths. So when you reach to the 3rd path, which is seeing paths, then you reach to the seeing paths. We should not reach to, you accomplish the seeing paths, and you become Arhat. Arya, not Arhat. You become Arya. When you accomplish seeing path, you become Arhat. So the Arya, Arya Pakpa, Arya. And then you already reach to the first bhumi, which is the joy bhumi. Right? That means accomplish the seeing path, become Arya, reaching to the first ground is kind of same time. Now here, even though when you read the sentence, such a person will gradually attain the ground of the perfect joy. So all those who thus aspire, pay attention to this path. Right? Therefore, whatever text you open, like Lamrim or, any kinds of, like text when you open, almost 100% scripture text asks you to study ask you to practice. None of the texts, the authentic texts say, if you recite, Manipeme, billions of times, you will become Buddha. No, true. If you recite the Vajrasattva mantra, billions of times, you will become Buddha. No. Say, look at, listen the teaching of emptiness, realize emptiness, then gradually you will reach to the joy and then attain Buddhahood. Right? Therefore, even though what we must do, I said in the beginning of our class, first, generate bodhicitta in form of your guru. After you generating, then continuously you cultivate, compassion, then extend the compassion, then slowly extend the compassion towards all sentient beings. Then actually you really need to focus on, accomplish bodhicitta. Right now, are we bodhisattva or no? Yes, it depends. Yeah, it depends on you. Somebody say, yes, I'm bodhisattva. For me, I'm sure I'm not bodhisattva. Right. But we can generate the bodhicitta in front of the Buddha. Also, when we see the suffering beings, yes, we can generate bodhicitta. It's not the correct way to generate. And Tibetans say, grow bodhicitta. Grow where? In your mind stem, grow bodhicitta. Then realize emptiness. Emptiness is the thing we need to realize, we need to understand. We cannot generate emptiness. We need to grow compassion. Yes, we already have compassion. We don't need to grow compassion. We need to extend the compassion as a great compassion, as a pure compassion. Right? It's very clear. You can see, when you watch the Discover Animal Plants, how the tiger care their cubs. They really give their love to saving their cubs. Tiger, lions. They really care. They really, when they, even though look at the elephant, one elephant, mother elephant, died the baby. He was, had been carrying the dead body for many months. The dead body just carry everywhere. She still believe, or maybe she's really still, love the child, the baby, have been carrying the dead body everywhere. Right? Then all sentient being naturally has compassion. The compassion is a conditioned compassion or unconditioned compassion. We need to think. Therefore, if we have an unconditioned compassion and love towards our family, when we lost our family, we should not have the grief. We should not feel upset. Yes, we feel I lost someone, but you should not really feel, sadness. Your condition is, your compassion is unconditioned. Right? For example, you are very close to your neighbor. You are very close to your relative, equally close. Right? When you lost your relative, you feel more upset. When you lost your neighbor, yes, you feel upset, not that deep. So why is the difference? First is the conditioned love. Second is unconditioned love. Right? Usually, why we need to take care of our families, brother, sister, uncle, auntie, why? Why we need to take care? Is a culture? Is a tradition? Why? Because you feel you have the close feeling. You feel you have the bonding feeling. Right? Oh, we are same blood. We must care each other. We must, protect each other. First this. Actually, it is not really compassion. It's morely kind of sense of liking, sense of like, or sense of protection. You want to protect. I'm not sure if we can say love or no. It's compassion, no. We need to think, right? Therefore, here, such a person will gradually attain the ground of the perfect joy. So all those who thus aspire, pray, listen to the path. Right? Therefore, we should not just be as we should not be just simply be Buddhist tradition. Or my parents are Buddhist, I want to be Buddhist. Or my friends are Buddhist, I want to be Buddhist. Or I have to do every day, 3 temple station, I have to do this offering, that offering, or someone pass away, I have to do dedication. We should not stick just on the tradition. We really have to be the practical Buddhists. Mean, listen the teaching and practice in your daily life. Also, many of you are quite, most of us over, I think, 50, include me, we are over 50. Many of you think, oh, I'm too old to, studying about this text. You should not think I'm too old to study emptiness. Also, you should not think I'm too late, too old to practice bodhicitta. I just want to born in Pure Land. I want to born pure. I do the dissertation every day. I want to born Pure Land, right? Pure Land. I don't think I can practice bodhicitta because I'm too old. That means you are really accusing yourself. There's no age difference you can, practice bodhicitta. Young people can practice bodhicitta, not the old people. It's not true. Am I right? Number one. Number two, I think we are doing quite mistake. One big, quite mistake. I feel also mistake. Also, His Holiness the Lama said, which is very good. You have a strong aspiration. You want to born Pure Land, which is very good. Very good. You have, right thoughts. But after you recite the mantra, Amitabha Buddha mantra or Lokeshwara mantra, billions of times, there's no guarantee you will born in Pure Land. Not sure. Instead of hoping to born in Pure Land, why we don't just practice bodhicitta now, today? Because right now we have ability, we have a time. Also, we can practice. Then why we, just thinking I will practice Dharma in next life? Why? That means in your house, you have all the ingredients for cooking laksa, develop some momo. You have all the ingredients there. You don't want to cook. You say, oh, I want to cook the food in the Pure Land. You have everything here. Just cook here. Just enjoy. Right? So therefore, I really appreciate, many of you have been attending class in TBC, from me, from Geshe Doji Remdul, from many other masters, which I really appreciate. But make sure, whatever you receive teaching from different master, different teacher, make sure you practice in your daily life. You should not just have a hope. Oh, I'll do the practice for them in a mental impotence. You should not think, oh, I just want to attend teaching that I have some mental impotence is good for future life. In a way, you think it is good. In a way, it's not good. You should not think I'm too old to practice bodhicitta. You should not think I'm too old to study, this thick book of emptiness. Because most of you are English speaker, you can read, you can understand. So do practice every day. Then plus, you can recite the Amitabha mantra, you can recite Manipeme, you can, recite the Vajrasattva mantra. I say plus, but most of our time we spend with the recitation, chanting is quite, kind of mistake. how I can say, you know, quite mistake, how I can say surely. You can do, you know, experiment, right? You can do experiment yourself, demonstration. You can do demonstration yourself. You research, you know, like Manipeme whole day. The next day, you just try to meet your enemy. You just go and say hello to your enemy. Can you control your anger? Difficult. You just focus recitation. One day, if you fully generate compassion towards your enemy, you just practice compassion towards the particular enemy. Next morning, when you see him, maybe you feel happy. You feel happy because you practice compassion based on realizing the enemy is your best friend in the past. Or when you say hello, good morning to your enemy, you're scared. Looking very strange way, you're able to control your anger. You can see the difference, which is more important, which is more effective. Recitation or, you know, like meditation or practicing, which is important. Which can really change our life, recitation or practice. Practice, right? In our life, we can see someone become very rich, billionaire and billionaire, one of the richest person in the world. He or she become richest, no recitation, chanting, through practice, through effort. Someone become very good singer. At the beginning, both of you can sing, you know, same way. Somehow one person become most of the famous singer because of the practice. We Buddhists always believe, in the karma, you know, mental imprint, not much effort. So we really need to have put a lot of effort to the practice, the pure dharma. Right? This next now, then rest of there's a lot of quotation from the Dhammapada Sutra, Ajahn Chatra Sutra. This is also very important. 169, right? Page number 169. Ajit Sadru Sutra says, if someone who has committed hears hear the teaching, engage with it, spirit for it, he do not speak of his karmic deed as a karmic operation. It's based on the history of Buddha Shakyamuni. Then the Ajahn, whenever there's a king. I think the same one to them. The sutra is it's Maheda, Ajahn Shatru something. Maheda, so you have committed, you know, the one of the worst karma. So when you really able to understand emptiness, this means the karma is look like nothing. You can eliminate, you can purify the karma. Because the Ajata Sutra, the Ajata was the son of the king. He has a strong greedy to take over the power. So he killed his own father. I told you the story. Then what happened? So Buddha's younger brother and this son of the king become good friend. They said to the king of the sun, you must kill your father, that you can have a power of the kingdom. I will kill the Buddha I can control all the disciples. He wanted to be Buddha. Then he really think I must kill his father, his own father. Finally, he killed. At the beginning, he feels so happy because he got the power. Slowly, he realized he did a big mistake and he had a strong regret. Strong regret. He cannot eat, he cannot sleep well. Then at the end, one of his, I think, wife asked him to see Buddha. You just go to see Buddha and get advice. Then, first time when he meet Buddha, so he expressed all his suffering problem. I cannot sleep, I cannot eat, I have a strong regret, I cannot do anything because I did a good, like bad karma. I committed bad karma. Buddha didn't say it's no good. Buddha said good. Buddha said good. You did the right thing. You kill your father. Our parents must kill. Buddha says you did a good thing. You should not regret. Then he feel relieved because this Buddha was saying I did the right thing. He feel relieved. But he be happy. And he didn't have a lot of regret. He came back home and he able to eat, able to sleep, and he able to do the normal job. Then one day he met again Buddha. Now Buddha thought it's the right time to explain what I've said. It's the right to kill your parents. Buddha said, parent here referred to the attachment and anger. The parents I referred to the attachment and anger. Because look at, you compare father and mother. Mother is very calm and more gentle, right? Father is very mostly angry. Then he realized, Buddha was very skillful person. Right? Therefore, this is the story. At the end, he become, very good practitioner. Okay, now it's 4:30, so next class, surely we start from the identifying the object of negation. So you can read from the commentary from the identifying negation for like 4 or 5 pages. So what does mean, identify object of negation? Since our class started, I talk many times. Realizing emptiness is very important. Because in order to free from the ignorance, we do realize emptiness. In order to achieve liberation, yourself liberate emptiness. Achieving Buddhahood, emptiness. Daily, any kinds of sadhana, Vajrayana, Tantrayana, what sadhana? Emptiness. So emptiness is very important to realize. If we don't know, we cannot differentiate the actual phenomena and the object of negation. Then there's a dangers. We try to negate the negation. Actually, we negate the actual phenomena. We try to establish, we try to posit the phenomena. At the same time, we establish the negation. Right? Negation. Therefore, the negation is very, like a sensitive kind of dust on the important, because we have important things. If you don't clean the dust very carefully, you're going to destroy the important, the phenomena. Right? So, for example, somebody has a very important, like things, they will destroy the things. Then you think, I have to be very careful removing the dust. I have to be very carefully try to clean. But the person is so worried about, going to damage the phenomena, he cannot clean the dust very purely. The dust there. Right? Dust is look like object of negation. The thing is the phenomena. So we have to be master how to negate the negation based on the any phenomena. For example, the book, the daily meditation practice book is a book, is a phenomena. So in order to realize the emptiness of this book, we need to negate the negation, which is the self-existent book. Self-existent book. So in your mind, through logic and reasoning, you need to negate the self-existent book. But when you try to, negate the negation of this book, you are negating the book. No good. That means you say no book. Then it is not the correct way to say this book is not there. The book must be there. When you're thinking the book must be there, at the same time you are saying the self-existent book must be there. Right? Therefore, you have to be very carefully negate or remove the object of negation. Otherwise, you're going to negate the phenomena. If you not very carefully establish the phenomena, at the same time, you are establishing the negation. Therefore, so important to identify object of the negation. Therefore, for you as a homework for next Saturday, you read few pages. You finish to read about identifying the object of negation. Okay, so I think if I talk too much, it just wastes, I think, nothing. So we can have a Q&A. If not, we can stop class here. Is there any question? Yes?
You mentioned that ignorance actually is caused by our negative thoughts. No, ignorance causes the negative thought and the positive thought. That's why we're in samsara. Can you give an example of the positive thoughts?
Oh, positive thoughts. For example, very simple. Let's say you are visualizing Buddha Shakyamuni, right? You are visualizing the field of merit. For you, without realizing emptiness, before realizing emptiness, for you, the visualized field of merit is a independent, existent field of merit. When you do prostration to the Tripal Gem, also for you, you are prostrating to the Buddha and Dharma Sangha, which is independent, existent. That means you are positive, you are accumulating positive action, but ignoring is there. You remember this one of the quotation, it will come in later, or physical body and the sensation of the physical body, right? Lula liwan chijinto timugula nekyote. Lula body, the physical body and the sensation of the whole body. Where is the body? The sensation is always there, right? When you touch, the sensation. When you touch here, the sensation. I can touch, I can feel more sensation over here, right? That means all parts of body is covered by the sensation, right? Likewise, any kinds of thoughts arise for us. Positive thoughts, of course, negative thoughts. The ignorance is polluted. The ignorance is always there. When you do recitation, you have a motivation. The motivation also polluted by ignorance. Therefore, all action, positive action, negative action, the ignorance is always there.
Then in this case, it is a positive actions of compassion, bodhicitta, and
Yes.
so how do you
Correct. Without realizing emptiness, practicing bodhicitta, practicing 5 perfections are group of blind people, right? Therefore, any kinds of practice without realizing we engage, it's just going around the samsara, like blind people just going around the Jalan Bazar, So never reach to Sentosa, never reach MBS, right? Therefore, yes, the positive thoughts, positive action is caused, actually there's a cause caused by ignorance. Then another example, usually we are very happy to accumulate positive karma. Yes, relatively, positive karma brings better result, relatively the negative result. Right? For example, due to the positive karma, we have this physical body. When we analyze about this physical body, yes, it is the basis of the suffering. This is the origin of suffering. We need the house, we need the icon, we need the light. Everything you look at, we have hundreds of thousands of food court because the body needs food and water. But this body is caused by a positive karma. Like, taking in a rebirth in the higher realm is the positive karma, but still in the samsara. It looks like, two poison snake. One is color white, one is black. When you look at the white poison snake, it looks cute, so nice. We touch, right? It's when they bite, the poison is there. Bite by the like black snake poison, both release the poison. That means the positive karma relatively is better with the result of the negative karma. Still, the nature is suffering. Okay, any question? No?
Yes, Geshe-la, there's questions.
Yes, please.
In verse 6.1, it says, turn to the attributes of perfect Buddhahood. Could Geshe-la please explain what does it mean by this?
Oh, attribute is the quality of the Buddha. In Tibetan, we say Dzogpe Sangye, meaning a fully enlightened being. Dzogpe Sangye, Che, a quality or attributes. So, based on the meditative, meditative equipoise, when you really engage into the subtle Four Noble Truth, particularly subtle truth of the path, then your mind, you are, really facing towards to achieving the Buddhahood, which has all the good qualities. Attributes is the kind of quality of the Buddha. Yeah, because Tibetan you can say Dzogpe Sangye, Che is a attributes. One Cho is like manifest or direct facing.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Yeah.
If you want to know more precisely, you need to read the commentary more precisely. Okay.
The
Any
next question. Yeah, next question. Is there any difference between the emptiness realized by the sixth ground Bodhisattva and that realized by the first ground Bodhisattva? If no, does that mean there is no difference between the subjective aspect of these two minds?
Yes, the person, who realizes emptiness, who are, let's say, above the ground, first bhumi, second bhumi, fourth bhumi, sixth bhumi, or who realize emptiness by ordinary person, there's no differences based from the object point of view. Both of, the Bodhisattva, even the Bodhisattva who reached to the higher state, ordinary person like you and me, we both, realizing the same emptiness. Therefore, object-wise, no different. Subject-wise, yes. So our mind, which is emptiness, is not compound, with the bodhicitta. Even though bodhicitta who are in the first bhumi, on the first bhumi, who was the second bhumi, the object of emptiness, there's no difference. Subject-wise, a big difference. Because quality, you can see the quality of the first bhumi, quality of the second bhumi, third bhumi. Yes. So therefore, realizing emptiness, there's no any differences between the ordinary person like us, then the Bodhisattva who are on the first bhumi, second bhumi, even the Buddha, no different. The subject wise, there's a big differences due to the earning or having the quality. You can say first bhumi able to check how many volt, second bhumi how. Therefore, the 10 bhumis not just differentiating based on the way of realizing emptiness. The 10 bhumi, we can differentiate how they, achieve, better qualities. Better qualities. Quite clear?
Yeah, thank you, Geshe-la.
Yeah.
Then next question from Elaine. Must it be in a sequence for the 10 grounds? Does it have to be in a sequence for this 10 ground?
Of course. So the 10 grounds is look like, it's exactly like, for first, you are physically quite weak. You are physically weak, like us. We are very, very ordinary person, physically weak. Then, every day you keep, eating the healthy food, healthy drinks, and keep doing all the exercise, the more heavy exercise, very, very heavy exercise. One day you become very, very strong man. Likewise, the first bhumi, second bhumi, the practice-wise, the Bodhisattva who are on the second bhumi has a strong practice. That means it's the progressive of practicing bodhicitta with emptiness, particularly progressive, meditate on emptiness. Yes. Quite clear? Between the emptiness, 6 ground, okay. Must be the sequence for the 10 ground. Yes, the 10 ground must sequence means you are very weak, suddenly you cannot become a very strong person. Weak person become bit stronger, finally very strong. The first bhumi, then without first bhumi, you cannot reach to second. You should not jump, okay? You should not try to jump from first to 10 bhumi. Okay, next question.
That's all in the chat window. Is there any questions? Feel free to raise your hand or unmute yourself.
Geshe-la,
Yes.
I just bought the Illuminating the Intent, so I intend to read from the start, or your advice will be I just continue from your chapter, page 165, negating object of negation.
Okay. For you, every day you can read little bit for the first or second chapter, step by step. More you focus from the chapter 6. Chapter 6, particularly, today you can read more on the identifying the negation. Not just read and finish. You think what does mean. Also, when we think about, we should not pick on other. We must, pick on ourselves. We should not on others. How is my ignorance? How I really, apprehending the phenomena around me? How I am apprehending myself? How I really, perceiving things around you? You need, you yourself be like a guinea pig. Read the book, test on yourself, hone yourself. If you don't understand, then you keep a note. A note you can rest, you keep the note and you can ask question for next Saturday. Hello? Any question?
Thank you. Yes, noted. Thank you.
Okay, then no question is almost 4:40, so we do the dedication. Today also there's some people totally new, like okay, anyway, I think they are from Indonesia, right? Somehow if the face is familiar, but I cannot remember their name. Anyway, so we do the dedication from the Lamrim. Then at the end, we do the dedication from the root text.